2015 wasn't a good year for me. Um, Found myself on the floor. My knees had gave out on me, and I was crawling trying to get up, and I couldn't. My wife had to run home from work, but by that time, all the whatever it was that caused it had gone away, and I was able to get back up. Well, after that, I decided, it's time to go see a doctor after 30 years. I hadn't seen one, so I went, and the doctor told me, he says, and this was an old retiring doctor, so he was brutally honest. He said, one of your knees, one of your knees are gone. It's gonna be gone, and the other one is starting to go. And don't be surprised if you're not in a wheelchair in 2 years. Now that was 2015. So then I started going. I started going to the doctor off and on that whole year, and nothing was helping the pain. I mean, granted, vitamin D3 was helping me so much, but everything else he was giving me was causing side effects. I mean, memory loss. I was having memory loss. I was having, blood in my stools. I mean, it was like a nightmare. It was like a nightmare, giving me stuff to calm me down, giving me stuff for pain and arthritis and stuff. And the thing about it was, here I was taking all this stuff and not even knowing how to get home at night sometimes. So I decided to go cold turkey on all of it, except for, I kept the vitamin D3. I did keep that, and I started taking that. And I went off all that medicine cold turkey. And then all of a sudden, the pain gets bad, and I'm taking probably 15 ibuprofen like every 4 hours. And I knew something was wrong there. And then at this point, I had already, after I got off that medicine, I started getting this peace at me. I mean, it was like some kind of peace that came over me. And all I cared about then was hanging out with my wife and daughter, my dog, playing with my dogs in the yard. And that's what I was doing. I was having fun. I was enjoying life. I cut out all the negativity. I'd been in the wrestling business for 15 years. I finally washed my hands of it and got rid of it. After what happened, it was just a big negative thing in my life. And once I got rid of it, a peace came over me. And almost like, I would say, a spiritual awakening. And like I said, once I started doing that, then it wasn't long before, they put an X up in the yard. The Sasquatch did. They wanted me to find it. They wanted me to look. I don't know why they wanted me to look, but they did. And so I went out there. I took pictures of it. I didn't know who made it, or did somebody try to prank me. But again, I came out of the wrestling business. I mean, I wasn't thinking about Bigfoot. At the time, I wasn't even considering it. But something happens. As I start realizing, at nighttime, they start coming to me, they start speaking to me, they start doing all this stuff telepathically. And so I start, first I didn't know what it was. And then you know, doing I started realizing I could communicate back. So I asked him one day, I said, why do I always get pictures with you with roots in your mouth? And why are you always chewing on roots every time I record you or something? And they said, it's because there's a root in the ground that they can chew on. It's got healing properties, and it makes them healthy. So they chew on that root. So you know what I did? I started looking up online what root heals, or what root gets rid of pain, and I discovered turmeric. So I start taking the turmeric, And guess what? The I don't need the ibuprofen anymore. The turmeric was helping me so much, so I just kept taking it. And it goes to show you when you know, when you I would say God came to me. I would say God came to me before the Bigfoots did. God told me, you know, you don't need that medicine. You don't need it. You can find other ways for pain. You can find other ways to heal. And that's what I did. And to this day, that's all I take. I take the vitamins. I take all the vitamins. I take the turmeric. I'll be in some, people don't understand. I'll be in some of the worst pain you ever seen in the mornings. But once I take all that stuff, a couple hours later after I got some rest, I'm back to normal and I can go the entire day. I can mow the yard. I can do anything. It's like it's healing properties. And I think the Sasquatch, if they never ever told me why they chewed on that root, I would have never ever knew about that. I would have never looked for it. I, they just shows you. It just shows you they're more godlike people than they are. Everybody thinks they're some kind of ape, some kind of monkey or whatever. They're not. They're just evolved beings of us. And I will talk more about that. I just wanted everybody to hear. I should be walking in a wheelchair, but I'm not, and you can thank the Sasquatch for that.